Hello and welcome to 10 Minute Takes. We are Jim and Sam, and this is the show where we like to give you our rating first, then we like to talk about the things that we did and did not like about the movie we just saw. Today's movie is Mary Poppins Returns. We both saw it. Sam, so you ready to give our rating?
Yes.
Our rating system is either a see it, wait for it, or pass it. So Mary Poppins Returns. 3, 2, 1.
Wait for it. I thought you were going to say pass it.
No. Well, I will say, regardless of whatever our rating is, Emily Blunt is a fantastic Mary Poppins.
Well, she's just amazing in everything.
Okay, so Mary Poppins Returns. This is the sequel to the original Mary Poppins films, or the original Mary Poppins film. I personally have never seen the original Mary Poppins film. I've never seen a clip from it, a single scene. I recently just saw the Honest trailer for it. I think it's the first thing I've ever seen of from that movie.
That's what you resort to.
So,
Honest trailer. Just give it to me straight.
That's the only exposure I've had for Mary Poppins. So I'm not sure if I'm exactly the demographic for this. But one of the things I will say about this film, regardless of whatever I thought about it in like the final rating kind of way, is that the audience that we saw it with, when it ended, they clapped and cheered for the film.
I did too, but that's part of the fun.
I think that this film, one of the things that like critics that I liked a lot growing up, people that I kind of like admired, was Siskel and Ebert. Other people have commented to us about Siskel and Ebert, and one of the things that they did, and one of the things I actually liked, is that especially Ebert, he would review films, or at least talk about films in the manner that who they think they were for. Classic example was that I watched the review for Predator, the 1980s film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mm-hmm. Ebert gave it a glowing review because he thinks for action bona fide fans, it was the perfect film for them. Siskel was just like, no, this movie's trash. I don't think it's for anybody. And that's the angle that I like that Ebert took. And I think with Mary Poppins Returns, I think Mary Poppins hits its demographic. Mm-hmm. It may not have hit with me the way that some other people may have wanted it to, but with the reaction that it got from the audience we saw it with, I think it hit the demographic it wanted to hit. This movie is, yes, it is charming. Emily Blunt is fantastic. The musical numbers there's a few inventive musical numbers. There's some nice cameos in it. The acting all around is really great. So with that said, Sam, what are some things about this movie that you actually did really like?
I think one of the things that I liked the most was the musical numbers, and that's what brought back the charm of Mary Poppins. I kind of think of this movie as like, yes, it's a return, but it also feels kind of like a soft reboot of the first one. Mm-hmm. So the music was very pleasing. I really liked Emily Blunt's, the way that they talked in their music was the way that they kind of traveled their music throughout the film.
Like I said before, don't have any ties to Mary Poppins. I haven't seen the original one. What I will say is that when I did watch the Honest trailer for Mary Poppins, there's a lot of scenes that I saw in that. I'm like, oh wow, that I look like I saw that in the new film.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying by like it feels like a soft reboot because a lot of the dance moves, the penguins, the scenes that they did chronically in order kind of felt very similar to the original Mary Poppins. Now, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but that was one of the treasured movies that I watched, especially when I watched like older movies, throwback movies, because my mom really liked them. So it was like The Sound of Music, The Wizard of Oz. But I did like the musical numbers, and it felt like a really nice throwback to the original movie.
Yeah. There looks like there are a lot of callbacks and a lot of sort of homages to the original one. Like the guy on top of the roof blowing off the cannon, the song and dance, like I said, the penguins.
Hat. There's a hat that
Mary Poppins riding up the rail.
So yeah, the talking umbrella. Like these were things that were in the original that brought the charm that we like to see. So I think for people who grew up on Mary Poppins and was looking for something that was going to bring back their childhood, this is definitely the movie that's going to bring that back. One
of my favorite scenes of the film, or like one of the things I actually really liked, I did like the song and there's two musical numbers that really stood out to me. It was the animated one when they went into the vase was super clever. I think it was fun. The vase. That was super fun. That was really cool. I had like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibe, and I'm a big fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Fantastic movie. So I had a little bit of nostalgia for that because I do love what they did in Roger Rabbit. They kind of like recreated it here. And I also really did like the song and dance number. It was mainly a dance number with Lin-Manuel Miranda and the lamplighter gang.
That was my favorite part. But there was a scene like that in Mary Poppins with the
original one,
chimney sweepers.
Mm-hmm. And that's the scene that I saw in the Honest trailer where they're doing that. I'm like, oh, that's exactly like the lamplighter scene.
So classically marvelous.
And it was really good. It was really well done.
That was my favorite scene.
Now, the issue that I did have with Mary Poppins Returns is I think it kind of suffers in a similar manner that Christopher Robin suffered. The film that came out earlier this year, is that the plot has a seen it, been there kind of vibe to it. And considering this is sort of like a soft reboot, sort of sequel, I think that is okay for the majority of the audience that this is for. But for someone who's fresh and new to this, it was a little bit of just the rehash nature of it didn't enthrall me as much as I wanted the film to.
Yeah. So
the overall plot of the film is that the Banks family, their house is going to be foreclosed on, and they need to find bank certificates that prove that they have sort of stake and ownership in the bank to save them from foreclosing on the house. Mary Poppins comes to help them in their time of need. And we've just seen this sort of plot before. It just happens to have Mary Poppins in it. Christopher Robin had a similar thing where it was about an older man that needed to reconnect with his childhood to save his job where he was at to rediscover or like reinvigorate him in his career. Mm-hmm. I just have way more nostalgia for Winnie the Pooh than I did Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
So I grew up on Winnie the Pooh. So Winnie the Pooh resonated with me quite a bit.
Yeah, well, me too. I mean, Winnie the Pooh is Winnie the Pooh. I can never go wrong. I still get gifts from family members that have Winnie the Pooh on it.
Winnie the Pooh for me is a classic. The other thing is that I wasn't totally enthralled with the ending in the final scene in the bank, because I felt like it undermined the actual journey of the film. Mm-hmm. But that's me being overly critical, sort of like being analytical with this. But when that scene would happen, the theater actually erupted and applauded at that scene, mainly because of the big cameo that happens. And the cameo was actually fantastic. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I just wish they had probably worked that cameo into the film a different way. But other than that, those are my nitpicks of the film. Those are the things my dislikes, if you will.
I don't know. I just think that I didn't like the Mary Poppins story as much as I did. I think that the memory of Mary Poppins from my childhood was most of the excitement when going into this film. But then once I started watching it, it just wasn't as... I don't know. Something was missing and it wasn't exactly what I was looking for.
And that's surprising to me because you like musicals. Musicals are your jam.
Musicals are my jam. And
one of your favorite films from last year is The Greatest Showman.
I still watch that film a lot. I do like that one. And I do really enjoy musical, especially when they have a lot of singing and dancing. Mm-hmm. That's why, I think last year I watched White Christmas for the first time, and I think I watched it twice last Christmas, and that was the first time I watched it because of the singing and the dancing, and it just brings the movie alive. And I don't know what it was, and I don't know why, but there was just something that was missing for me, and it just wasn't the childhood rediscovery that I was looking for, because I didn't feel any of that.
You did mention something when we were walking out where you felt like the musical numbers were more of a sort of talking speech musical numbers instead of actually full-on singing musical numbers.
Right, and I did mention before that I liked that, but I don't know if that was the one thing that made it so much different than the first one, because the first one's a little more musical.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't know what it is, but I think that's just my takeaway, is that there was just something that was missing. I don't know what it was, but it didn't quite get the excitement of the childhood that I was looking for. Like some movies that are coming back, I feel the child in me getting excited for that movie. Yeah.
All right. That's it for me. Okay. So Emily Blunt is absolutely amazing in this film. She's a perfect Mary Poppins. I don't think they could have gotten a better actress to portray Mary Poppins. The film all around is very nice and very charming. Do recommend seeing it, especially if you're interested in seeing it. It just didn't do anything new for me, and with that, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So if you're good, I'm good.
I'm good.
Thank you for watching this episode of 10 Minute Takes. These are the final shows of the year. We have one other one we're doing, and then we'll be back, I believe, the first weekend of January. doing. I'm not sure what we'll be seeing, but I know there's a bunch of films that have come out recently that I would really like to see. Clint Eastwood's got a movie that's coming out.
Oh, the mule. It's out.
It's out. I want to see that. Maybe catch
While
a couple movies over the next week or so, and then do a couple shows first weekend of January. But other than that, and when we come back, I believe we'll be doing a rebrand. We're going to change the name, same format.
Is it going to be movie therapy?
I think so. I think I'm going to go with that.
I invented that.
So MT.
MT.
Will be the thing.
So we're just going to drop the 10.
So it's not going to be 10 mistakes. It'll be movie therapy.
But what about the other things? Because we don't just do movie therapy. We don't just do movies.
I think TV shows are enough. It's enough leeway for that. And I think we can put video games onto a different channel. I think we can do 5-phase reviews as its own thing.
I just don't think we're popular enough for that yet.
But it's fine. Anyways, that's it. Like and subscribe if you like this video. We have Can You Ever Forgive Me next. You saw that Melissa McCarthy film. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching, and thank you for listening. We'll see you next time, guys.